Good evening, welcome back to Theme Park Thrills and welcome back to this mini-series of reviews that we're doing on the channel. So this is the third episode of this. In the other two we did Nemesis Reborn in the first one and then Colossus in the second one, so make sure to go and check them out if you haven't already. Yeah, good reviews, and we spun the wheel again, and this time we got the Smiler at Alton Towers. So yeah, we're going to be doing a full review. We'll go through the queue line, the station, the theming, and obviously the ride itself. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So in terms of, we'll start with the theming. Well, no, let's actually start with, it opened in 2012, the Smiler. Obviously opened as the world's most inverting coaster and is still the record holder with obviously 14 in the ride, which is a very impressive stat, I have to say. And yeah, so it's very impressive. I mean, you don't need inversions for it to be a really good ride, but Smile has 14. But, so yeah, obviously it beats, I think the second most is like 11 or 12, so it beats it by a couple or a few,
yeah,
I think. So yeah, very impressive. It looks very impressive. It's in, you know, a very, exactly that, it's in a very small area. Yeah, and it's also like, it's impressive. Obviously Alton Towers can't go above the tree line. Alton Towers, sorry about that, the power, like the low power mode thing came up. Alton Towers obviously can't go above the tree line for their ride, so it's impressive that they've got the coaster with the most inversions in the world. So yeah. So in terms of the theming for the Smiler, it's sort of a little bit weird, really, like a bit messed up, isn't it?
yeah. It was going to be a lot worse than it is now, but it's not heavily themed in terms of like on-ride and queue line, but the indoor queue line, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Probably is on the wall stuff.
Yeah, they got the projections, obviously the flashing light in that little indoor queue bit, which is good.
The exit's good as well.
Yeah, the exit is very good. It's probably the best exit in the park, really, actually. Obviously you got the big marmalizer in the middle of the ride, which you do get some good interaction with, especially when you go over the two airtime hills for the ride. You know, you've got effects going off it as well. So that's quite good. That's the main theming structure of the Smiler, and it does look quite good, to be fair. And it also looks very good at night, actually, the Smiler.
Yeah.
You got lots of flashing lights, things like that. But yeah, the station's good. You got the dispatch effect. Obviously the smoke comes down, and what does he say?
Who?
I don't know, the Smiler man.
Oh, before you go?
Yeah.
Join us.
Yeah, that's it. So he says that, and the smoke comes down. That's a nice effect. You got, obviously, the ride operators are up there. I mean, it's not heavily themed.
Just right.
It's sort
But
of just.
the indoor bit's pretty cool.
Yeah, the station's okay. I mean, you haven't really got loads of theming. You got some yellow and stuff. You got those exit stairs, which are like kind of rainbow, and yeah. So
Doesn't really match the theme, really, does it?
not really. It's just a bit more weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like sort of happy, but not very happy. It's weird. It's weird. It was meant to be a mental asylum. That was what it was planned to be, which, to be honest, would have been quite good. But they changed it to obviously what it is now. It's sort of, it's not really like a set theme. It's just a bit messed up, basically.
Yeah. The mental more facts about the old theme that was going to be. It was going to, like, that exit was going to have like loads of like plastic drapes or plastic sheets, if you see them in like hospitals, the ones that are like coming down, they were going to be like, not like see-through, but made it look like sort of kind of dusty, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't see through it, but it's like almost grey. There was going to be kind of like that, and then the station was going to have lots of those as well, but it was too expensive, plus yeah, it's going to cost them too much, and they thought it was a bit too messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see that. I think that would have been quite good, to be honest. Obviously, with the ride, it's a long layout, you know, that's going to cost a lot, so you couldn't have really done it. But also the fact that, I don't know, it might not have gone down too well, because obviously mental asylum, but that's obviously something some people do struggle with. Yeah, so it could, as you say, quite sensitive. It might not go down particularly well. And I've said to you before that I think that'd be a great scare maze at the park to do, but maybe that's why no one's done it. I'm sure people have thought of it. Yeah, so the queue line, not heavily themed, just kind of very chaotic with the kind of you're in these cages sort of. You've got the whole ride going around, you know, on top of you, and soundtrack and everything. At night you've got lots of flashing lights, things like that. And then you make your way into the station and onto the ride. So there's 4 rows, seating 4 riders per row, so 16 people on each train. I think it runs 3, sometimes 4 trains on the Smiler, I think. Yeah, at least 3 usually. You quite often see 2 going around at the same time.
I'm pretty sure, like on ride, if you're just going up the vertical lift, I'm pretty sure you can maybe just about see 3 on the track at the same time. Like just before you hit the brakes, you can see the 3rd one going in.
The brakes?
Just going back into the station as the other one starts coming up the lift hill. So they're kind of like this, I think. Yeah. You've got the brake one and the chain lift like right next to it.
Usually you have 2 going around the track, 1 in the station. And it might be that, but if it's on a busy day, you might have 2 on the track, 1 in the station, 1 on the brake run, waiting for the 1 in the station obviously to go. So it's quite good capacity. I mean, the operations they're okay, not bad. They're just pretty average. Yeah. So it's not the best operating coaster in the park, but not the worst either. The worst one, we'll get onto that with Rita. But yeah, we'll have to save that.
I want to do that one very last.
Yeah.
Don't have anything nice to say about Rita.
Not really, no. So you get dispatched, and obviously, as you said, you got the smoke effect and the joiners effect, which is nice, flashing lights as well. And what's that called? Disorientator, I think.
What, the inversion inside?
Yeah, I think that whole bit is called.
Yeah.
The disorientator, which is quite a nice start to the ride. I quite enjoy that. The inversion, obviously you get the flashing lights as you drop down. It's a good inversion as well. And I always find that there's these like railings, as you're upside down, there's like these bars. You've never seen them? Yeah. But it's like actually acts as a really quite good head chopper. If you next time you're gonna have to see, if you don't notice, make sure you look. It's like railings, so like say you're high up, obviously you have some railings just like that. And
when do they do their Christmas event? They don't.
When do you think?
Well, yeah, but they don't do it on Christmas Day, do they?
Yeah, around Christmas, back for a month. Smart isn't that?
What is it?
No.
It'd be nice to go there.
It would be nice. Yeah, we might do that. And at the time of recording, this video might come out tomorrow or the next day. But we are going to be going to Chessington World of Adventures on Friday the 13th for their Christmas event. We were thinking about doing Alton Towers, which we might still do. We just thought Chessington would be better because they've actually got a couple of rides open, including Mantle Mayhem, which we've never done before. So that'd be really good to get on. We'll obviously do a vlog from when we go, and we'll post that, of course. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be good. Anyway, not quite sure how we got onto that. But yeah, you do the inversion inside, which is great, and then you kind of wait at the bottom of the lift hill for like 30 seconds, something like that. Yeah. And you make your way up the 95-foot tall lift hill, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's dug into the ground from the bottom. So from the bottom where it's dug into the top, it's 95. From ground level to the top, it's less. Obviously that is because they can't go above the tree line. And yeah, then you start your ride on the Smiler properly. So you kind of drop down to the right to start with, and you do this after the first lift hill and after the vertical one as well. So it's sort of like a corkscrew, but kind of as you're going down, isn't it? So it's quite good. It's not the smoothest, and with the Smiler in general, it's not very smooth anymore.
I think the first half was pretty smooth.
It's not too bad. The second half's definitely worse.
Towards, but I find
especially the end.
Towards, yeah, very much towards the end is the worst bit for me.
Yeah, it's the Cobra roll. The second half had a Cobra roll at the end, and then the double corkscrews at the end. They're the worst bit.
Yeah.
It's still a bit rattly here and there in other parts, but not as bad. So yeah, it's not, you know, aged particularly well. Obviously, it was nice. It was smooth when it opened. Yeah, so yeah, it's not very smooth. If it was smooth, you know, it'd be close between that and the Wicker Man. I'd say my second favourite.
Smile and
Wicker Man.
yeah, probably.
But it's just not, unfortunately, which is a shame. But yeah, you do that kind of downwards corkscrew, if you like, into two back-to-back dive loops, which are quite good. You go into one, and then you come back out straight into the other, and they interact quite nicely, actually. It's yeah, they're okay. I mean, you get a little bit of hang time, not too much. In both of those, you take the second one probably a little bit slower than the first, but not too much difference really. Then you go into the first of two airtime hills, and that one's it's okay. First airtime.
Yeah, the first one's just average.
It's okay. Like you get a little bit. Well, we'll come on to the second one in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely the worst out of the two. It's not like bad, but it's just okay. And then you make your way into the back wing, which is obviously the fifth and sixth inversion on the right, I think. Yeah. Obviously that's two inversions in one sort of element, if you like, and that's quite nice. And it actually makes up with that, and the Cobra makes up the Smiler face.
Yeah.
You've noticed. If you haven't noticed, go and have a look. Like it's like the back wing's
like,
sort of the eyes, then I think the
like
eyes.
a bit like that.
Then
like,
the sort of the mid part of the Cobra
like
roll is the smile. So well, I can put in a picture right now.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, have a look at that. It's the sort of the logo, if you like, for the Smiler, which is very cool. It's got to be intentional. I reckon so.
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, it's cool how the Cobra roll goes in between the back wing, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, so the back wing's good. I don't know, probably not my favourite version on the ride, but still good.
Yeah.
And you come out of that, you go quite nicely into this corkscrew, which flows quite nicely because you kind of come out over the track. You come out like that, and then you go flip that way, which is quite nice. And yeah, it goes over the airtime hill, I want to say, the first one that is. And then that's 7 inversions done already, and it's quite quick actually, in terms of from the top of the lifter to the first brake run.
Yeah.
It's not actually that long, but you're packed in 6 inversions from the top of the lifter.
Yeah.
And then you stop at the bottom of the vertical lift, you have like a few seconds, which is definitely needed. Like if this ride did not have a vertical lift, that would probably be a bit much. And it's very, very intense with that brake. I mean, could have done a launch, but yeah, I quite like the brake, to be honest.
Probably wouldn't have enough speed anyway unless they did put the launch in, but
yeah, they maybe could have done a launch, which would have been good, but I think people appreciate the brake on the Smiler, because otherwise that's a lot.
Sorry, like pretty intense.
It is, yeah. Yeah, then you make your way up the vertical lifter, which is good. Probably the scariest bit of the ride.
Yeah.
Comparing that to maybe Saw, you're probably not there for as long, I don't think. It's shorter than the Saw ride. And yeah, and then you make your way over the top of that, and then you kind of come into this sort of drop down to the left, I believe, which is very similar to the start of the ride.
Yeah, you dual.
Yeah, you dual with the first one. If you're lucky, you get a train going past at the same time.
Yeah.
Not always, but I think that's happened a couple of times, which is always nice. And yeah, you do this very similar thing. You kind of do a corkscrew whilst dropping down. Then you go probably into my favourite inversion, or inversions of the ride. It's called a sea serpent roll, if you didn't know. So you kind of go up, you kind of do a loop, a twist out of it, and then
Comes
you
like
sort
backwards and then
it kind of comes round here and then into the airtime now. So that's 2 inversions in one element, which is really nice. I think it flows quite nicely. How it kind of it's just nice how it flows. Yeah, that's not too rough. I mean, none of it's like too bad until it gets towards the end, and then if you drop down, and then go past the photo bit, and then you're into what is, for me, the best part of the ride. Not an inversion, which is quite funny really, but it's the second airtime hill. Like,
so good.
You just get absolutely. Imagine if you had lap bars, and that's the thing. You know, Gerstlauer, obviously the manufacturer for the ride, they wanted to put lap bars on the Smiler.
Yeah.
But Alton Towers and Merlin didn't.
It would be uncomfortable, I think.
What, with the lap bars?
Yeah.
It'd be better, wouldn't it?
No, because the reason they do move the shoulders because they're more comfy for like more intense rides.
Well, Hyperion does.
Yeah, pretty new though. It's all smooth.
Wow, yeah, but I mean, if you didn't have a lap bar, you wouldn't have anything to like pop your head against.
Yeah,
I suppose. But I mean, we can agree that
you like properly like.
Well, I
Shape
suppose.
that as more than normal though.
We can agree that the airtime hill would be even better if you had a lap bar.
It would be.
Like, you'd be flying out of your seat. Like, it's very good. Probably the best airtime moment in the park, I would say. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And then you make your way into where it gets really quite rough. It's the Cobra Roll. The first part of it you go up into, it's not too bad. It's okay, similar to the rest of the ride really. And then the second part is the worst part of the ride.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
as you're coming back up to the second bit.
It's
or third drop. Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's a bump.
Oh, it's just, yeah, it's so jolty, it's just horrible really. If you're at the front, it's probably not as bad. The further back you go, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just not good at all. I dread that moment.
Yeah.
Like, coming up to it, I'm like, oh, here we go then. Sometimes obviously it's worse than other times. And then, yeah, you...
Sorry, it's just stretching.
Right. And yeah, then you make your way down after that, and it doesn't get much better either. So you got the two corkscrews. Going into the first one is very rough, very uncomfortable. The first one's really quite bad.
The second is not much better.
It's not much. It's a little bit better, but not like loads. Sort of slows down quite a bit towards the end as well in that second one.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just as rough and uncomfortable. And then yeah, you do, that's your 14th inversion on the ride, and you make your way around into the break run. So that you just had your ride on the Smiler. And overall, it's not my favourite part. It's very impressive, and it is still a good ride. If it was smooth, you know, I would definitely take it up a bit, I think. I don't know, what's your overview of it?
I think it's in my top 3.
Yeah, I'd say it's in my top 3. Obviously, Nemesis. Sorry about that. My phone's gonna die soon. But Nemesis is obviously top, and then it's sort of close between the Wickerman and the Smiler. If the Smiler was smooth, I'd probably say prefer it. But yeah, it's quite rough, especially at the end, which is a shame. I would say after that maybe Oblivion. I wouldn't put Oblivion above it. Just simply.
Oh, we're just doing it out of Towers or
Yeah.
out of, oh right, okay. Towers is probably second. I think it's close between that. Nemesis has got to be first then.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my 4th favourite is Oblivion. I wouldn't put that above the Smiler, simply because it's just too short. If it was longer, then quite possibly. I don't think as an overall package, theming and ride experience, I don't think it beats the Wickerman. But and obviously not Nemesis, of course.
No.
But yeah, so we've had quite a few rides on it over the season, and yeah, we'll certainly get some more back in March when it opens, and for the rest of the year, which we're looking forward to. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned. You might have noticed we're looking at the screen quite a bit in this video. That's because a brand new Planet Coaster 2 series will be dropping soon on the channel. You still haven't finished the first one when you're watching this. So yeah,
Now on season 4.
Yeah.
So
You've got a couple more episodes to go.
yeah, so
And then
got maybe a couple of weeks to drop this.
I'll tell you what, we'll drop this series maybe a couple of days after we go to Chessington. We go to Chessington on the 13th, we'll probably drop that on the 14th or 15th, and then it will be just after that. So yeah, stay tuned for that video from Chessington. We're looking forward to that, aren't we? We get our first rides on Mandrill Mayhem.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too busy, it's a Friday that we're going. And so yeah, we'll obviously do a vlog out of that. Get on Mandrill Mayhem as many times as we can, and some other dark rides and things like that.
Yeah.
We might go and say hello to Hyperion, as soon as we're not far.
Yeah.
So So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out the other 2 if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
So yeah.